Oh, yeah. We got the theme from Rocky. That must mean one thing.
We have Edison royalty in the house.
The legendary Rocky Whan.
Class of 60.
The Edison Chargers. Thanks for joining us today, Rocky.
Go, baby. Looking forward to it.
So last week, Rocky pops into the studio just as we're finishing, and we said, we're done for the day, but do you want to come over to the Goose with us and just hang out and we'll talk? And he's telling us all kinds of crazy stories about Edison, its history, and I'm like, you know what, we got to get this on video. Because
stuff that
like
you could only
historic.
hear from Rocky, like these personal anecdotes and stories that were just like golden.
So I said, come back next Sunday, and we'll just bring you on, and we'll talk Edison, its history, and all that good stuff. So here we are.
Let's talk all things Edison football. So Edison, what year does Edison High School open?
1969.
And you were there for that opening.
I was there for that opening. We started getting training and such at the schools that we were then attending before the school opened up.
Which would have been what?
Huntington Beach High School was where I attended, and probably most of the players came from. And then Fountain Valley was the other team that we pulled from.
So do you remember that first day the school opens, that first day on campus? What's going through your mind? I mean, going to a high school is, you know, you're nervous enough as it is, but you're actually opening a high school. What was that like?
Yeah, it was kind of wild because first off, the school wasn't finished. There was a construction strike going on.
Oh, wow. But they decided to move forward anyway.
And we're moving forward. So
Tarps everywhere, sawdust, that kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no landscaping, no nothing. It was dirt everywhere. I don't even know that the parking lot was finished. Our weight room wasn't finished. We worked out, as I showed you that picture earlier.
Yeah, that was amazing.
You know, hey, coach, your team's ready. And here we are at the home ec room, the girls' home ec room, getting ready. And so, it was just absolutely crazy. We had 2 shower heads that were outside, and that was cold water, by the way. So,
You didn't have the heated showers back then?
No heated showers at that time. And then from there, we also had no weights. So the coaches themselves made cement can weights with bars. And we did all our training at Lamp School for the entire summer.
Like you'd get those old tin coffee cans filled with cement?
And some of them are the bigger ones, so we could do the leg workouts and things like that. And so that's the way we started.
So how did Edison actually get its name and its colors? Because you'd kind of told that story, and I found it really interesting, especially about the colors.
Yeah, the one thing, and I had forgotten about it when we talked about that last week, actually the original name was going to be Kennedy. So, but that kind of drew some
Kennedy High School,
some tough talks with that, and so just ended that, and then it was going to like the Edison power plant.
Okay.
And that got nixed, and it finally just got to Edison. They had a committee back then with our ASB president, which I believe at the time was Scott Lent, and another gentleman named Mark Johnson. And that committee said, no, we're just going to be Edison High School.
So is it more related to Southern California Edison or Thomas Edison?
Correct. Yeah, it was kind of like that.
Okay.
And it just went to Edison.
Right.
Period.
So then the colors. That's kind of an interesting backstory
Yeah,
with
the
your
colors
coach.
back then, they were going to do cardinal and gold.
Like USC?
Yeah,
Okay.
like USC. And Coach Vail kind of put a nix to that because he was a Green Bay guy.
Oh, so it's a Packer thing.
Yeah, it's
There,
a Packer thing.
hence,
Yeah,
right,
yeah, you get that right there. So we went with that, so green and gold.
So had he been a Ram fan, Edison would have been blue and white, because back in the 60s, that was their
Could have
go-to
been,
color.
could have
All
been.
right.
You know, very well. But the way we actually got Chargers is the coaches went on a field trip to the San Diego Chargers back in the day.
Because
Long story short.
he went to El Toro.
Yeah. Long story short, Chargers.
Right.
So there's where all three things
So between
came
San Diego and the Packers, that's how the Edison Chargers became the team you are today.
And
Correct.
it's a great color scheme, too. I mean, the Edison's uniforms always pop, and the green lightning bolt, it's really cool looking.
You were telling us the story about the horse in the track. Can you share that with the fans real quick? Because I found that really interesting, because it would never have flown nowadays.
Oh yeah. Well, back in the day, we had a couple of gals. I think it was 2 or 3 gals that rode the horse for us, and there was probably 2 different horses we had. Both white stallions, beautiful horses, gorgeous.
Did your field have a track when you say riding the horses? Is that how that worked? Or
Back in the day, yes, they got to do that.
Okay.
But later on, after that, we had the 50th anniversary of the Edison Fountain Valley game, which was just 2019. I put that on. We had about 400 or 500 tickets we sold to that game from the alumni. I got a horse, and that was really, really difficult. The first thing right out of Jennifer Graves, who was the principal at the time, she said, "Nah, that ain't happening." And so
Liability thing?
yeah. Well, I went to Orange Coast College because it was their campus that the horse was going to be on. So I was just talking to the wrong
And is that where you
person.
played your home games way back then?
No, we played at Huntington Beach High School.
Okay.
Pretty much all game, anything that got played at Orange Coast College was the Fountain Valley game.
The Bell
And I
game.
didn't play at that, there at that time. We just played our games at Huntington Beach High School. But I talked with one of the directors at Orange Coast College. They said, "Hey, sure, all you got to do is get a rider." And so,
Insurance
kind
rider.
of funny to say.
Get it? Get rider.
A rider.
That's a play on words there, Coach.
Yeah,
No, I get
Not
it.
a
Play on
horse
words.
rider,
Yeah,
a
horse
insurance rider. Yeah.
insurance rider. So I got that, and we were golden. So now what are we going to do with the horse? Sheila Ferguson, who is was the second rider of the horse, and she got us a gal and a horse, beautiful horse. We just for fun we called it Bolt. That was that. We called it Bolt. So
Edison, they're animals. They got
Yeah.
that dog, the German Shepherd. You have
yeah,
Bolt.
Yeah, Bolt.
That makes sense.
And now what she does is she gets this gal with the horse and gets her all dressed up. She's in a green cape, got the lightning bolt, made a beautiful lightning bolt, and did the whole thing. And we quadrant off an area in the Orange Coast College parking lot and did our tailgating, and that's where she was. And then we were allowed to bring it down to the flagpole at Orange Coast College. You guys probably know right
Yep,
there,
I know
but the
exactly what it is.
scoreboard, that flagpole, that's the closest we could get to the field.
Okay.
So I was a little bit bummed that we didn't get it down on the field, but there were some other insurance deals going on, and we decided, okay,
But everybody
we're not
saw it,
gonna do that.
obviously.
Well, I walk away, happy that I've got that. I walk down the ramp. I go over to the sideline to get our guys. We got about 15, 20 guys getting ready to come out on the field for the coin toss. And all of a sudden, somebody says, "Rocky, the horse is on the field." I go, "Get out of here." And I look around, and sure enough, there's the horse right on the field, right where I wanted him. Now, I was just going, "Don't tell me no."
Yeah, right? So I got a picture I'm going to hold up. I want you to talk about this a little bit. This is the original first
Oh, yeah.
coaching
Wow.
staff of Edison High School.
You bet.
Talk to me about those guys just real quickly.
Well, left to right, Vince Asaro, he was my hero. He was my mentor. We lost him just recently, maybe a couple of years ago. Coach Vail, he's still around. Coach Vail was the head coach. He was with us for 2 years, went on to Long Beach afterwards and coached there. And he took us to CIF in our second year, and that's what he left. Pat Pohl, Pat did coached with us during the CIF days, or in those 4 CIF games. They asked him to coach the freshmen, but he came up for our CIF games. Bob Ralston, great guy, we've lost him as well. And then John Myers on the far right, and we've lost him as well too.
Interesting stuff. So Greg Campbell is a longtime Edison coach. He lives in
bet.
Alabama now. Big fan, says hello.
Yeah.
He wanted me to ask you about the term standing tall. I said, well, what's that? He goes, Rocky will know.
Stand tall, man. Well, we can do it. It's just can you catch
Right.
this?
The
It's
defense
just-
does
Hands
it,
on the
right?
hips.
Standing
the
tall,
defense.
man. Hands on your hips, standing tall, just showing them you're not going to take us down. No way.
great.
We are here. We're coming at you. And that was a defensive thing.
Right.
Obviously, in the offense, you got your offensive huddle.
You
you're
need to
paying
stand low to
attention.
get leverage,
But
right?
The defense, and we just wanted them to know that we're not tired. You're not taking us down. We're standing tall.
So 69, you were a freshman at Edison, correct?
Sophomore.
Okay, sophomore.
Yeah.
Take us back to 1969. First of all, did you have a car? And what was your first car?
My first car was a 1966 red burgundy Corvair.
All right. Now, did
So-
you drive that to school?
A Corvair?
Yes, I was able to drive that to school. It finally broke down on me though. Wasn't
On PCH in Magnolia?
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Corvair, that was a mid-engine car.
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly.
Remember that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. I do
Yeah.
remember that. I was happy to get that car because I had a girlfriend at the time. So we
Now,
could
did
go
your
on
car have
dates.
one of those 8-track players?
Oh yeah.
Now, what was your go-to song or your go-to
Oh
band
my
back
gosh!
then?
Now you're going way too
Well, that's
far
okay.
back for
It's-
me. I
it's-
couldn't remember that
Okay.
for nothing.
Beach
Yeah.
Boys, and that rings a
Well,
bell?
it could have been Beach Boys, but Stones were one of my favorites too. The Rolling Stones.
Okay.
Went to a couple concerts. I remember one summer with some of my buddies in his green van. I remember the green van, you know. So, yeah.
All right, I'm going to pull up a couple pictures. Cole, do you have my monitor ready to rock? I just want you to look at the monitor real quick. Can you tell me what it is I'm looking at here?
Look at that.
Probably that mustache. You're going
What
Rolo
a
style.
dude.
That is when was that?
Look at you.
I was
Wow.
56 years old.
Those things aren't light.
I had a trainer at the time.
All right.
And she put me through the paces. And so I probably went up about 4, 5, 6 times, back and forth, a few flips with that.
I mean, you got your hips into it. I'd like to see you a little lower, but I mean, the technique is looking good. Your
He's
back's straight.
driving right there.
I can
Oh,
see
yeah.
the struggle.
I brought that up recently. You guys caught that.
Oh, we caught that. And I got one more I'd like you to comment on if you don't mind. Oh,
Hey,
he
look at that.
Yep, that's my senior year picture. Looks like I just got my braces off and got a little bit of longer hair than I got right now.
got a nice tie looking good. Was that the yearbook photo?
That was the yearbook photo,
All right,
correct.
that's when they wore coat and ties. Those days are long gone.
You
but,
betcha. I think we had shorts on underneath,
yeah, right? I get it.
underneath that. Yeah.
I can only find 2. I reached out to a couple coaches and like,
Oh, those are
man.
good. Those are good.
Okay, you're cool with that?
Yeah.
Well, listen, Rocky, we really appreciate you coming in. You're telling great stories. The one thing I do want to ask you about, though, before we cut you loose, is your CIF championship team.
Yeah.
Huntington Beach got cut in half, so you just had a handful of kiddos going to a school
Sure.
that really shouldn't have been able to field much of a team, but you had some big wins that year.
Yep.
Talk to me about that CIF championship team.
The CIF championship team was pretty amazing. I mean, just real quick down the line, we were actually 4-3-2 in the '69 team,
Right.
And we beat Fountain Valley 21-20 in that year. And then the Edison next year in 1970, which is when we became CIF champions.
Right.
That every game was special. The closest game I want to say is Cronendale Mar. I think we only won 21-14.
Okay.
So that was the closest one. Everything else we pretty much beat the pants off in the first 2 games. We blitzed the first 2 teams. I forget who it was. I think it was actually Bosco, interestingly enough.
Right. But back then, you win CIF, but they didn't do championship rings like they do now. You got a plaque you'd mentioned. Can you show me that CIF patch you got? I'll put that on the. I mean, so this. You never put this on your Letterman's jacket, did you?
Oh, I did.
Oh, yeah, you ripped it off for us?
Look at that.
And I took it off, yeah.
So Mission Viejo a couple years ago,
Let me see that.
they got
That's
together their
awesome.
team from the early 80s, late 70s, and got them championship rings, kind of a retro
yeah.
thing. Maybe if someone in the Edison community can kind of get your team together
Wouldn't that be nice?
and just, some commemorative little ring. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a nice gesture, and I don't know, it'd be kind of nice.
That would be fun. So we got that, and we got a little plaque.
Okay.
So that's what we received. We got that in our second year. There was, the best game of that year, probably CIF would have been the final. I was fortunate enough to score the very first touchdown of the first final CIF championship game.
Wow.
And so that was a kick in the pants. And
Sure.
Yeah,
and
some
we
of those
beat
pictures
them
you were showing us were
21,
amazing.
26-14, I think. It was a close game. So it was great.
What was it like to have, the school just opens and then literally right away you guys are champions, having success that early? I mean, that just speaks to like the talent that was at Edison. I mean, I guess, how was the reaction from your friends at Huntington Beach High School? You guys having success that quick?
You know, they always go back to, we beat you the first game, you know.
Right,
in the first year. Which they did.
Everybody's got something.
Right.
Yeah, that's, you know, you can't ever admit anything, you
Correct.
know. So, but it's today, if you talk to those guys, you go, you had a good team. And so we still, the great thing about the Huntington Beach, even the Fountain Valley guys and the Edison guys, we still all connect.
That's awesome.
You know, and so I still chat with a couple, Rick Hatfield from the days of Fountain Valley, and Gary Balbuena.
Well, here's the
probably
reality,
know that
Rocky,
name.
is we all get older, our numbers are getting smaller.
Smaller.
So you become a tight-knit community. I mean, that's a
Yep.
very unique club,
Yep.
fraternity, whatever you would call it. So
Sure.
I get that. So it's nice that you keep
yeah.
in touch with those guys. You tell the
Yeah.
old stories. So we got breaking news. A lot of CIF things are coming in. We got Coach
Yeah.
Lofthouse here, Coach Bick from Los
It
Alamitos.
is a
It's
busy
packed
day.
show.
I'm excited to be part of today, so thank you very much for
thank you for
having me
being
on.
here.
I really appreciate
Rocky,
that.
you've got a lifelong membership to Sunset Rewind.
Yeah,
You
anytime
come in
you want, anytime
hang
you
out on
want.
the couch. You don't have to say anything. We could talk to you forever.
Yeah.
But we really appreciate you taking the time, spending some time with us, and just kind of telling us the history of Edison and all the old
Thank you
stories.
so much for being
my
here.
pleasure. Thank you very much.
Best of health, best luck going forward. Good luck to your Chargers. We're about to find out who they're playing and where and when. So
Well, I'll hang around for a little bit and see
Absolutely.
hang
Yeah,
out,
it's gonna be
relax,
fun.
drink your
It's gonna
coffee
be
and,
fun.
what happens. Sounds
no
good.
agenda.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Rocky.
Good job, Rock.
All the Sunset League teams made it.
I saw it.
They're all in.
I saw it. I was writing it down.